What them haters talking about?
What's up, family? Oh, you're gonna love this one. Dr. Phil, the guy who Oprah put on, made him popular and rich without prejudice, fixed his mouth to say that giving black people reparations would be an absolute disaster. Can you believe that? Boy, when you talk about reparations, they show their true colors every time. Specifically, he said this: I can tell you from a psychological perspective that if you take $350,000 or $840,000 and you write a check to any group of people, black, white, poor, homeless, whatever, you give any group of people that much money and say, there you go, best of luck. You can come back in 6 months. They're going to be broke. Dr. Phil words. Let me explain something to you, Dr. Phil, coming from Dr. Will. I don't give a damn what you think, sucker. Cut the check. I wish I would go to a white man for advice about how we should be compensated for the centuries of brutalization, murder, rape, theft. I wish I would. I don't give a damn about what Dr. Phil thinks. Let me explain something to you, fam. For those out there who call themselves allies to black people, this is how an ally should operate. If you're going to align yourself with a group that has been marginalized, a group that has been wronged, you go to that group and you figure out what they want. You listen to them tell you what they want, and you hop on board with the movement, no questions asked. Because you don't have the experience, you haven't suffered nothing. You can't possibly know what it feels like to walk in the shoes of black people in this country. It would be something different, fam, if everything that happened in slavery and Jim Crow had happened and that was it. And we're moving forward. This stuff ain't happening no more. We probably wouldn't even be tripping on reparations. But it is the fact that they continue to run the same plays that they ran back then. It is the same energy that they're projecting today that they did back then. The hangings are still going on. The police, the slave catchers, are still pulling black folks over, shaking them down, stopping and frisking them, shooting them, gunning them down in cold blood. Banks are still discriminating against black people. Homeowners organizations are still trying to exclude black people from buying homes. Real estate agents play the same game. Brokerage firms. It's still going on. Reparations is not just due, it is owed. Dr. Phil opened his stank mouth to express his opinion after Duke University professor William Darity Jr. suggested that every black descendant of slavery should receive $350,000 and the U.S. would have to come up with roughly $14 trillion to fund the reparations effort. I ain't tripping on $14 trillion. The U.S. ain't tripping. They know how to come up with the money when they want to. Dr. Phil ain't said nothing about giving that money to Ukraine. He ain't said nothing about that extra, what was it, 60, 70 billion, 100 billion that Biden just agreed to give Ukraine. He ain't said nothing about the reparations they paid Japan or the Native Americans. He ain't said nothing about none of that. Here's the deal, fam. Some people in this country, not just white people, some people in this country have a mentality of anybody but the blacks. Anybody can be made whole. Anybody can be given that opportunity but the blacks. Anybody but them. Anybody but them. That's the mentality. Let me be crystal clear. Wage theft is illegal. Crimes against humanity is illegal. America don't get a pass. Had another country done this to a group of people, America would be literally up in arms. And all these hypocrites who are talking about how we gonna come up with reparations, how it's gonna happen, they would be on board with whatever America said because they are robots. And here's something else to think about, fam. They love to talk about how, well, you gonna give them the money's just gonna be spent. First of all, anybody saying that who hate black people ain't thinking deep enough. If you think the money gonna be spent so fast, you should be lining up to try to get you some of that money that's gonna be spent so fast that black people won't just frivolously just spend. You know, you should be lined up to get some of that money. But here's the deal: they know that that's not what's going to happen. Yeah, there are going to be a certain amount of people who are going to blow their money, and that would happen with any group of people. Any group of people. But they are afraid that a lot of black people are going to take that money and do the right thing, and they're going to come up and they're going to close that wage gap. You see, there's already a precedent for it. There's many, many examples of black people who ain't never had no money and came into a large sum of money and figured it out. Yeah, you had some who didn't figure it out, but you had a whole lot of others who did figure it out. And that's what they're afraid of. Black people are talking to one another now. They are learning different ways to become financially responsible. They're going into rooms they've never been into. They're reaching back. There are many black people out there on the internet reaching back and pulling other black people up. That's what their asses are afraid of. They scared to death of that unity. So I don't want to hear all of this. Well, they just gonna blow the money. They ain't gonna do nothing, throw it away. Even these dumb niggas talking about they just gonna blow the money. So what? The same way it's not anyone's business what you do with your money. It's none of your business what black people do with their money from reparations. Mind your business. Ease on down the road and cut the check, sucker. No more talk.
What the haters talking about?